under the previous order requiring 60 votes for the adoption of this amendment. The amendment is not agreed to.
Madam President.
The senator from Vermont.
Madam President, I want to bring up amendment number 2310.
The clerk will report.
The senator from Vermont, Mr. Sanders, proposes amendment number 2310.
May we have order in the Senate, please? Take your conversations out. The senator from Vermont.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, this amendment is co-sponsored by Senators Boxer and Begich and is supported by over 40 pro-consumer organizations throughout the country, including Public Citizen, U.S. PIRG, Center for Food Safety, and many, many others. Madam President, this is a very conservative amendment. It says that the American people should have the right to know what is in the food that they and their children are eating, and if that food contains genetically engineered products. This amendment grants states the authority to label genetically engineered food. It is not a mandate. It grants states that right, something which, by the way, is now taking place in 49 countries throughout the world. If the people in England, Germany, France, and dozens of other countries have labels allowing their people to know if they are eating food with genetically engineered products,
the senator's time has expired.
States in the United States should have that right. I ask for a yes vote.
President.
The senator from Michigan.
First, Madam President, I want to thank the senator for Vermont for his wonderful leadership on so many issues in this bill. I must reluctantly ask for a no vote. Consumers certainly need to have available information. We need to make sure it's accurate according to the FDA after they determine that. And I would make one other point. You know, American farmers are feeding the world with 7 billion mouths to feed. This is harder every day. Science and innovation is very important to that. Recently, I talked with Bill Gates, with the Gates Foundation, for example, who's doing incredible work around the globe with drought-resistant crops in Africa, innovative rice in Philippines and Bangladesh and so on. And this is an issue that needs to be thoroughly studied to make sure we are not hurting those efforts. And I know that the chairman of the Health Committee has asked that we not do this. It's within his jurisdiction. I would yield time now to Senator Roberts.
Very quickly, we all wear coats and ties in this body. This amendment would put us in lab coats. Don't wear a lab coat. Vote no on this amendment.
Fired. The question is on Amendment 2310. Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Akaka, Mr. Alexander.
No.
Ms. Ayotte, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Baucus, Mr. Begich, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Bingaman, Mr. Blumenthal, Mr. Blunt, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Boxer, Mr. Brown of Massachusetts, Mr. Brown of Ohio, Mr. Burr, Ms. Cantwell, Mr. Cardin, Mr. Carper, Mr. Casey, Mr. Chambliss, Mr. Coates. Yes. Mr. Coates, Mr. Coburn, Mr. Cochran, Ms. Collins, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Coons, Mr. Corker, Mr. Cornyn, Mr. Crapo, Mr. DeMint, Mr. Durbin, Mr. Enzi, Mrs. Feinstein, Mr. Franken, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mrs. Hagan, Mr. Harkin, Mr. Hatch, Mr. Hatch, Mr. Heller, Mr. Hoven, Mrs. Hutchison, Mr. Inhofe, Mr. Inouye, Mr. Isaacson, Mr. Johans, Mr. Johnson of Wisconsin, Mr. Johnson of South Dakota, Mr. Kerry, Mr. Kirk, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Cole, Mr. Kyle, Ms. Landrieu, Mr. Lautenberg, Mr. Leahy, Mr. Lee, Mr. Levin, Mr. Lieberman, Mr. Lugar, Mr. Manchin, Mr. McCain, Mrs. McCaskill, Mr. McConnell, Mr. Menendez, Mr. Merkley, Ms. Mikulski, Mr. Moran, Ms. Murkowski, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Nelson of Nebraska, Mr. Nelson of Florida, Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, Mr. Portman, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Reed of Rhode Island, Mr. Reed of Nevada, Mr. Risch, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Rockefeller, Mr. Rubio, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Sessions, Mrs. Shaheen, Mr. Shelby, Ms. Snow, Ms. Stabenow, Mr. Tester, Mr. Thune, Mr. Toomey, Mr. Toomey, Mr. Udall of Colorado, Mr. Udall of New Mexico, Mr. Vitter, Mr. Warner, Mr. Webb, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Senators voting in the affirmative: Akaka, Begich, Bennett, Blumenthal, Boxer, Feinstein, Johnson of South Dakota, Lautenberg, Leahy, Mikulski, Rockefeller, Sanders, Tester, Udall of New Mexico, and Whitehouse. Mrs. Gillibrand. Senators voting in the negative: Alexander, Ayotte, Barrasso, Blunt, Bozeman, Brown of Massachusetts, Brown of Ohio, Burr, Casey, Chambliss, Coates, Coburn, Cochran, Collins, Corker, Cornyn, Crapo, Enzi, Franken, Gillibrand, Graham, Grassley, Hagan, Harkin, Hatch, Heller, Hoeven, Hutchison, Isaacson, Klobuchar, Lee, Lugar, McCain, McCaskill, Moran, Nelson of Nebraska, Nelson of Florida, Paul, Portman, Pryor, Roberts, Rubio, Shaheen, Shelby, Toomey, Vitter, and Wicker. Mr. Merkley. Mr. Merkley? Aye. Ms. Landrieu? Ms. Landrieu? No. Mr. Levin? Mr. Levin? No. Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson of Wisconsin? No. Mr. Inouye? Mr. Inouye? Aye. Mr. Cardin? Mr. Cardin? Aye. Mr. Webb? Mr. Webb? No. Mr. Udall? Mr. Udall of Colorado? No. Ms. Cantwell? Ms. Cantwell? Aye. Mr. Kyle? Mr. Kyle? No. Mr. Johans? Mr. Johans? No. Mr. Coons? Mr. Coons? No. Mr. Manchin? Mr. Manchin? Aye. Ms. Murkowski? Ms. Murkowski? Aye. Ms. Snow? Ms. Snow? Aye. Ms. Snow? Ms. Snow? No. Mr. Thune? Mr. Thune? No. Mr. DeMint? Mr. DeMint? No. Mr. Warner? Mr. Warner? No. Mr. Kerry? Mr. Kerry? Aye. Mr. Reed? Mr. Reed of Rhode Island? Aye. Mr. Carper? Mr. Carper? No. Mr. Inhofe? Mr. Inhofe? No. Mr. Sessions? Mr. Sessions? No. Mr. Baucus? Mr. Baucus? No. Mr. Bingaman? Mr. Bingaman? No. Mr. Cole, Mr. Cole, no. Mr. Risch, Mr. Risch, no. Mr. Menendez, Mr. Menendez, no. Mrs. Murray, Mrs. Murray, aye. Mr. Durbin? Mr. Durbin? No. Mr. Reed of Nevada? No. Mr. Schumer? No. Mr. Lieberman? Aye. Stabenow, Ms. Stabenow? No. Mr. Conrad? Mr. Conrad? No. Mr. McConnell? Mr. McConnell? No. Mr. Wyden? Mr. Wyden? Aye.
Are there any senators wishing to vote or to change their vote? Seeing none, on this vote, the yeas are 26, the nays are 73. Under the previous order requiring 60 votes for the adoption of this amendment, the amendment is not agreed to. Oklahoma.
I would ask that we call up Amendment 2214 on behalf of myself and the Senator from Colorado, Senator Udall. I'd also ask unanimous consent that we be given 3 minutes for each side on this, with it divided between myself and Senator Udall.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will report.
Senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Coburn, for himself and others, proposes an amendment number 2214.
I yield a minute and a half to the Senator from Colorado.
From Colorado.
Madam President, I want to thank the Senator from Oklahoma and rise in support of this important amendment. I'd also like to note that this provision is included in a larger bill I introduced this week to reform our presidential public financing system, and I'd welcome support for that broader initiative. This is a bipartisan, short-term step that we can take to preserve more money for publicly funded candidates who are running for president, regardless of using or I should say, instead of using that money to fund what we know now as extensive parties in our conventions. So I'd urge a yes vote. This is a way to get our fiscal house in order. It's a small step, but it's an important step. Again, I want to thank the Senator from Oklahoma for his leadership in this matter.
Madam President.
Oklahoma.
Thank you. You know, 99% of the American public has no idea that when they check the box that we're going to take actual American taxpayer dollars and subsidize party conventions for candidates have already been decided. And if we're ever going to lead as a body on starting to solve some of our problems, here's where we should start. This is $34.6 million that gets doled out, that isn't spent in the best interest of the American public, but spent in the best interest of the politicians for the American public. It needs to be changed. It has no effect on security, has no effect on the present allocation that was made in January to each party. If we can't do this little simple thing of leading by example, then our country is doomed, because that means the very significant problems in front of us we can't solve either. I would appreciate your support and vote on this amendment.
Who yields time? The Senator from Michigan.
I would yield back all time and suggest we proceed to the vote.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. The question is on Amendment 2214. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Akaka, Mr. Alexander, Ms. Ayotte, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Baucus, Mr. Begich, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Bingaman. Aye, Kyle. Kyle, aye.
Aye.
Mr. Bingaman. Mr. Blumenthal. Mr. Blunt. Mr. Bozeman. Mrs. Boxer. Mr. Brown of Massachusetts. Mr. Brown of Ohio. Mr. Burr. Ms. Cantwell. Mr. Cardin. Wait. Mr. Casey. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Coates. Mr. Coburn. Mr. Cochran. Ms. Collins. Mr. Conrad, Mr. Coons, Mr. Corker, Mr. Cornyn, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Dement, Mr. Durbin, Mr. Enzi, Mrs. Feinstein, Mr. Franken, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mrs. Hagan, Mr. Harkin, Mr. Hatch, Mr. Heller, Mr. Hoven, Mrs. Hutchison, Mr. Inhofe, Mr. Inouye, Mr. Isaacson, Mr. Johans, Mr. Johnson of Wisconsin, Mr. Johnson of South Dakota, Mr. Kerry, Mr. Kirk, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Cole, Mr. Kyle, Ms. Landrieu, Mr. Lautenberg, Mr. Leahy, Mr. Lee, Mr. Levin, Mr. Lieberman, Mr. Lugar, Mr. Manchin, Mr. McCain, Mrs. McCaskill, Mr. McConnell, Mr. Menendez, Mr. Merkley, Ms. Mikulski, Mr. Moran, Ms. Murkowski, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Nelson of Nebraska, Mr. Nelson of Florida, Mr. Paul, Mr. Portman, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Reed of Rhode Island, Mr. Reed of Nevada, Mr. Risch, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Rockefeller, Mr. Rubio, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Sessions, Mr. Shaheen, Mr. Shelby, Ms. Snow, Ms. Stabenow, Mr. Tester, Mr. Thune, Mr. Toomey, Mr. Udall of Colorado, Mr. Udall of New Mexico, Mr. Vitter, Mr. Warner, Mr. Webb, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden. Senators voting in the affirmative: Baucus, Bennett, Blumenthal, Brown of Massachusetts, Cardin, Coburn, Conrad, Feinstein, Gillibrand, Graham, Heller, Hoven, Johans, Johnson of Wisconsin, Kyle, Lautenberg, Leahy, Lieberman, Murkowski, Nelson of Nebraska, Nelson of Florida, Roberts, Rubio, Sanders, Stabenow, Thune, Toomey, Udall of Colorado, Webb, and Wyden. Ms. Klobuchar. Ms. Klobuchar, aye. Mr. Lugar. Mr. Lugar, aye. Mr. Bingaman. Mr. Bingaman, aye. Mr. Tester. Mr. Tester, aye. Senators voting in the negative: Boxer and Pryor. Mrs. Shaheen. Mrs. Shaheen, aye. Mrs. Murray. Mrs. Murray, aye. Mr. Franken. Mrs. McCaskill. Mrs. McCaskill, aye. Ms. Mikulski. Ms. Mikulski, no. Mr. Coons. Mr. Coons, aye. Mr. Shelby. Mr. Shelby, aye. Mr. Manchin. Mr. Manchin, aye. Mr. Hatch. Mr. Hatch, aye. Mr. Carey. Mr. Carey, aye. Mr. Menendez. Mr. Menendez, aye. Mr. Grassley. Mr. Grassley, aye. Mr. Begich, aye. Mr. Schumer, aye. Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole, aye. Mr. Udall. Mr. Udall of New Mexico, aye. Mr. Merkley. Mr. Merkley, aye. Ms. Collins. Ms. Collins, aye. Mr. Johnson of South Dakota, aye. Mrs. Hagan. Mrs. Hagan, aye. Ms. Snow. Ms. Snow, aye. Ms. Landrieu. Ms. Landrieu, aye. Mr. Inouye. Mr. Inouye, aye. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Barrasso, aye. Mr. Isaacson. Mr. Isaacson, aye. Mr. Coates. Mr. Coates, aye. Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, aye. Mr. Moran. Aye. Mr. Moran, aye. I got you. Mr. Levin. Mr. Levin, aye. Mr. Inhofe. Mr. Inhofe, aye. Mr. Akaka. Mr. Akaka, aye. Mr. Bozeman. Mr. Bozeman, aye. Mr. Burr. Mr. Burr, aye. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chambliss, aye. Mr. Risch, aye. Mr. Crapo, aye. Mr. Cornyn, aye. Ms. Ayotte. Ms. Ayotte, aye. Mr. Vitter. Aye. Mr. Vitter, aye. Mrs. Hutchison. Mrs. Hutchison, aye. Ms. Landrieu, no. Yes. Mr. Paul, aye. Mr. Cochran. Mr. Cochran, aye. Mr. Casey. Mr. Casey, aye. Mr. Enzi. Aye. Mr. Enzi, aye. Mr. McConnell. Mr. McConnell, aye. Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander, aye. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Sessions, aye. Mr. Wicker. Mr. Wicker, aye. Mr. Dement. Mr. Dement, aye. Mr. Rockefeller. Mr. Rockefeller, no. Mr. Brown of Ohio, aye. Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed of Rhode Island, aye. Mr. Kerry. Mr. Kerry, no. Mr. Warner. Mr. Warner, aye. Ms. Cantwell. Ms. Cantwell, aye. Mr. Carper. Mr. Carper, aye. Mr. Durbin. Mr. Durbin, aye. Mr. Whitehouse, aye. Mr. Harkin, aye. Mr. Blunt, aye. Mr. Corker. Mr. Corker, aye. I've got you as an aye. Mr. Franken. Mr. Franken, aye. Mr. McCain, aye. Mr. Pryor, aye. Yeah, I got you. Mr. Portman. Mr. Portman, aye. Mr. Reed of Nevada, aye.
On this vote, the yeas are 95, the nays are 4. Under the previous order requiring 60 votes for the adoption of this amendment, the amendment is agreed to.
Madam President.
Senator from Washington.
Madam President, I call up my amendment number 2455 and ask that the amendment be modified with the changes that are at the desk.
Is there objection? Without objection, the clerk will report the amendment as modified.
Senator from Washington, Mrs. Murray, proposes an amendment number 2455 as
Madam
modified.
President, I ask further reading be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the 60 affirmative vote threshold be waived, and it's my understanding we will adopt this by voice vote.
Is there objection? Without objection.
Madam President.
Senator from Washington.
Madam President, the amendment that we are going to vote on is bipartisan. It is fair, and it will make sure that Congress gets a report on the impact of all aspects of the scheduled automatic cuts. We all agree the bipartisan sequestration agreed to in the Budget Control Act is a terrible way to cut spending. It was included as a trigger in order to bring both sides to the table and ready to compromise. So I remain hopeful that we can get together to get the balanced and bipartisan deal that is going to be required to replace these automatic cuts responsibly and fairly. But as we work towards that, we all should know exactly how the administration would enact sequestration if we do not get a deal. So I was very proud to work with Senators McCain, Levin, and Thune to come together on a bipartisan compromise to make sure Congress has the information we all need on sequestration, from the painful cuts to the Defense Department, to border security, food safety, education, programs middle-class families and the most vulnerable Americans depend on. So I want to thank all my colleagues for working with me on this bipartisan compromise, and I want to thank the families and advocates who called and wrote letters urging us to examine all aspects of sequestration. Madam President, I would ask unanimous consent to include a statement from Levin in the record.
Without objection.
And it is my understanding that Senator McCain does not want to speak at this time, so I would urge a yes vote on voice vote.
Is there further debate? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes appears to have it. Ayes do have it. The amendment is adopted.
Madam President,
Senator from Michigan.
given the work that has been done, I want to thank Senator Murray and Senator McCain for their efforts. Senator McCain will not be offering his amendment, just for the information of the Senate. And so we will move on. I believe the next amendment is the Rubio amendment. And so if we could, if Senator Rubio was...
You want to call up?
Madam President.
Senator from Arizona.
Madam President, I would like to thank the Senator from Washington, Senator Murray, for this, I believe, an important amendment so that the American people will know the effects of sequestration. I appreciate the effort that is made. Obviously, sequestration is going to have an effect across our entire economy, but I would remind my colleagues that the Secretary of Defense has said that it would be devastating to our national security. Continue to work with the chairman, Senator Levin, in trying to find ways to avoid it, but at least the American people will know what the effects of sequestration will be, which I hope will galvanize us into a bipartisan effort to reach an agreement which would then prevent this devastation not only to our nation's security but to our economy. And I thank my colleague from Washington, and I yield.
Madam President,
Senator from Majority Leader.
there's nothing pending now on the Senate floor. Is that right? Other than the Farm Bill?
That's correct.
We're in between votes then, is that right?
Correct.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that upon disposition of S 3240, which is the Farm Bill, the Senate proceed to the cloture vote on the motion to proceed to count number 250 S 1940, which is flood insurance. Further, if cloture is invoked on the motion to proceed, notwithstanding cloture having been invoked, it be in order for the Majority Leader to lay before the body the House message with respect to 3178. 3187.
Is there objection? So ordered.
Madam President,
Senator from Michigan.
Thank you very much. I might just indicate to colleagues that we have one final amendment, the Rubio amendment. Senator Rubio will be coming to the floor shortly, and then we'll be going to final vote. I do want to take a moment to thank the leader for, in the midst of an extremely demanding schedule on things that need to get done in the Senate, for giving us this opportunity to come together to get this work done. And we will talk more about who's been involved in it later, but with all the demands, whether it be flood insurance, whether it be addressing the concerns of student loan interest rates, whether it be small business and jobs, and a whole range of things that are very important for us to get done. Our leader, and with the support of the Republican leader, has been willing to allow us to move through 73 amendments. And I would note we started with the possibility of 300, so 73 is certainly better than 300, but we know it was a major piece of work, and we very much appreciate our colleagues coming together to get this done. I will just remind everyone that 16 million people work in this country related to agriculture and our food systems, and they're watching us to do the right thing, to work together to be able to get this done and create economic certainty for them and food security for our nation. And so I just want to thank our leaders for their patience and willingness to stand with us. I see that Senator Rubio is on the floor, and I will now defer to him to offer his amendment.
Madam President.
Senator from Florida.
Madam President, I ask for unanimous consent to call up amendment number 2166.
Clerk will report.
The Senator from Florida,
Madam
Mr.
President.
Rubio, proposes an amendment number 2166.
Senator from Florida.
I ask for unanimous consent that the reading of the amendments be dispensed with.
Without objection, so ordered.
Madam President, members, this amendment would amend the National Labor Relations Act to allow employers to give merit-based compensation increases to individual employees, even if those increases are not part of the collective bargaining agreement. Essentially, what this would do is it would make the union contract wage a minimum, while giving employers the flexibility to reward diligent employees for their hard work. Bottom line is that today, if you work at one of these firms, the employer wants to give you a raise, they can't do it because if it goes above the collectively bargained amount. So this amendment would allow them to do that. That's a brief explanation of the amendment.
Madam President.
Senator from Iowa.
Madam President, this amendment is a solution in search of a problem. I don't know any of my colleagues here who have had unionized businesses who have come to them complaining that they can't give a raise. Have you ever heard of a business they complain that they can't give a raise? You know, the fact is, collective bargaining agreements already provide, in many of them, for merit-based performance increases. That's part and parcel of a lot of agreements today. So what this amendment basically does is it undercuts the National Labor Relations Act. That's exactly what it does. If you think we had to do away with the National Labor Relations Act and all of the benefits and all of the protections it has, both for businesses and for workers, this is your amendment right here. Quite frankly, I can't think of anything that would be more disruptive of a workplace than this amendment. When a business and workers have agreed on a collective bargaining agreement.
Senator's time has expired.
This would destroy that kind of comity in the workplace.
Madam President.
Senator from Florida.
I disagree. So I know we all know where we're going to vote on this matter, so I would ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. Question is on Amendment 2166. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Akaka, Mr. Alexander, Ms. Ayotte, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Baucus, Mr. Begich, Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Harkin.
Mr. Bingaman.
Carper. Mr. Isaacson. Brinken.
Mr. Blumenthal. Mr. Blunt. Mr. Bozeman. Mrs. Boxer. Mr. Brown of Massachusetts. Mr. Brown of Ohio. Mr. Burr. Ms. Cantwell. Mr. Cardin. Mr. Carper. Mr. Casey. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Coates. Mr. Coburn. Mr. Cochran. Ms. Collins. Mr. Conrad. Mr. Coons. Mr. Corker, Mr. Cornyn, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Dement, Mr. Durbin, Mr. Enzi, Mrs. Feinstein, Mr. Franken, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mrs. Hagan, Mr. Harkin, Mr. Hatch, Mr. Heller, Mr. Hoven, Mrs. Hutchison, Mr. Inhofe, Mr. Inouye, Mr. Isaacson, Mr. Johans, Mr. Johnson of Wisconsin, Mr. Johnson of South Dakota, Mr. Kerry, Mr. Kirk, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Cole, Mr. Kyle, Ms. Landrieu, Mr. Lautenberg, Mr. Leahy, Mr. Lee, Mr. Levin, Mr. Lieberman, Mr. Lugar, Mr. Manchin, Mr. McCain, Mrs. McCaskill, Mr. McConnell, Mr. Menendez, Mr. Merkley, Ms. Mikulski, Mr. Moran, Ms. Murkowski, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Nelson of Nebraska, Mr. Nelson of Florida, Mr. Paul, Mr. Portman, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Reid of Rhode Island, Mr. Reid of Nevada, Mr. Risch, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Rockefeller, Mr. Rubio, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Sessions, Mrs. Shaheen, Mr. Shelby, Ms. Snow, Ms. Stabenow, Mr. Tester, Mr. Thune, Mr. Toomey, Mr. Udall of Colorado, Mr. Udall of New Mexico, Mr. Vitter, Mr. Warner, Mr. Webb, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Senators voting in the affirmative: Ayotte, Barrasso, Brown of Massachusetts, Burr, Corker, Heller, Inhofe, Isaacson, Johans, Lee, Moran, Paul, Roberts, Rubio, Thune, and Vitter. Mr. Cornyn. Mr. Cornyn, aye. Mr. Coburn. Mr. Coburn, aye. Senators voting in the negative: Begich, Brown of Ohio, Cantwell, Carper, Casey, Conrad, Coons, Durbin, Feinstein, Franken, Gillibrand, Hagan, Harkin, Inouye, Johnson of South Dakota, Kerry, Levin, Manchin, McCaskill, Menendez, Mikulski, Murray, Nelson of Nebraska, Nelson of Florida, Reid of Nevada, Rockefeller, Sanders, Schumer, Shaheen, Tester, Warner, and Whitehouse. Mr. Reid of Rhode Island, no. Mr. Blumenthal. Mr. Blumenthal, no. Mr. Graham. Mr. Graham, aye. Mr. Dement. Mr. Dement, aye. Mr. Akaka. Mr. Akaka, no. Ms. Collins. Ms. Collins, aye. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson of Wisconsin, aye. Mr. Cardin. Mr. Cardin, no. Mr. Wyden. Mr. Wyden, no. Mr. Shelby. Mr. Shelby, aye. Mr. Lautenberg. Mr. Lautenberg, no. Mr. Cochran. Mr. Cochran, aye. Mr. Leahy. Mr. Leahy, no. Mr. Pryor. Mr. Pryor, aye. Mr. Pryor, no. Mr. Udall. Mr. Udall of New Mexico, no. Mr. Merkley. Mr. Merkley, no. Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole, no. Mr. Bozeman. Mr. Bozeman, aye. Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb? No. Mr. Hatch? Mr. Hatch? Aye. Ms. Klobuchar? Ms. Klobuchar? No. Mrs. Boxer? Mrs. Boxer? No. Mr. Bingaman? Mr. Bingaman? No. Mr. Wicker? Mr. Wicker? Aye. Mr. Chambliss? Mr. Chambliss? Aye. Ms. Murkowski? Ms. Murkowski? No. Mr. Enzi? Mr. Enzi? Aye. Mr. Hoven? Mr. Hoven? Aye. Mr. Coates? Mr. McConnell? Apologize. Mr. McConnell? Aye. Mr. Coates? Mr. Coates? Aye. Mr. Udall? Mr. Udall of Colorado? No. Mr. Toomey? Mr. Toomey? Aye. Mr. Lugar? Mr. Lugar? Aye. Mrs. Hutchison? Mrs. Hutchison? Aye. Mr. Kyle? Mr. Kyle? Aye. Mr. Grassley? Mr. Grassley? Aye. Ms. Landrieu? Ms. Landrieu? No. Mr. Baucus? Mr. Baucus? No. Stabenow? Ms. Stabenow? No. Mr. Crapo? Mr. Crapo? Aye. Mr. Blunt? Mr. Blunt? Aye. Mr. Sessions? Mr. Sessions? Aye. Mr. Lieberman? Mr. Lieberman? No. Mr. Alexander? Mr. Alexander? Aye. Mr. Bennett? No. Mr. Risch? Mr. Risch? Aye. Mr. Portman? Mr. Portman? Aye. Ms. Snow? Ms. Snow? Aye. Mr. McCain? Mr. McCain? Aye.
On this vote, the yeas are 45, the nays are 54. Under the previous order requiring 60 votes for the adoption of this amendment, the amendment is not agreed to. Under the previous order, the clerk will read the title of the bill for the third time.
Calendar number 415 S 3240, a bill to reauthorize